Greetings and salutations, Charlton66 here again with another video. Hope everyone's doing well and hope everyone is going to enjoy this holiday weekend, which is the kickstart of the summer, I take it, and everyone's out traveling around. There's a comic book show tomorrow in the area, and I hope it's not going to be crowded. I'm thinking everyone's out doing things with the family. It's my anniversary tomorrow, but I'm still able to go with the wife. I'm gonna cruise by there and pick up a couple books. I know there's a couple people I know want some books, and I'm looking for a couple things. Particularly, I'm on a Smiling Jack kick, and Joe Palooka. So I'm gonna try and get some of those and some Bob Layton covers that I'm missing off of Thor and a couple other comic books. So I'll probably shoot another video tomorrow when I come back from the show and seeing how everything plays out. I'm going to talk about a few things today on the video. On the comments, I'm going to try and address the comments of people requesting certain things. Gray Man wanted to see some more H.P. Lovecraft, which I'm going to do at some point in the very, very, very near future, because I enjoy doing that and love talking about the books and the author, even though he's in recent times, he's been in the spotlight because of the TV show and everything. So, and another viewer or subscriber, Graphic Man, which subbed to his channel. It's a phenomenal channel. He's under like 80 subscribers. He should have a lot more than that. He's knowledgeable with comics. He covers a lot of ground with comic books and things that we don't normally talk about on our videos. And he's well researched. He does things, graphic wise and everything else that makes his videos fun. So check out Graphic Man, Graphic PHICMAN, Graphic Man. Forget the F. There's no F in that. Graphic Man, just common spelling. Graphic Man, get it out there and enjoy those videos. He wanted to see Graphic Man with the PH. Wanted to see some of my bound volumes that I mentioned in the room tour. I'm going to show 4 volumes. I'm not going to show everything, but it's a work in progress. There are certain series that I'm like, I want all my Sandman Mystery Theater bound. I want all my Starman bound. The James Robinson, Tony Harris Starman. I'm working on that to get bound. And just some other stuff that I like to have in one nice volume. And they look good. And they look good on the shelf. And you can pull it off and read it. And it's pennies on the dollar which you're paying to get these things bound. And onto the binding. One of the things that I got bound, and I talked about this on a video a long time ago, some of my bound volumes of comic books. This is Valiant's Chaos Effect. This is not the company that I'm going to refer to here shortly. This was from a different individual who did this out of his house, who did bookbinding out of his house, but I'm far away from that. And I like the binding company is called Houchin, Houchin Binding Company. And I'm going to put a link. I can do that now. I figured that out. I'm going to put a link in the down in the description, because their whole section is on comic books, and they can do anything and everything with your collection. I mean, I have no affiliation with the company. I just deal with them, and these next 3 volumes are from them. And they're tremendous. They can do dust jackets. They can put the comic book cover on the outside of the book, on the leather binding. So you've got a leather cover on the book of the comic book that you want. They'll letter any way that you want. They'll put anything on the spine. There's There's marker ribbons you can put inside of the book, different types of binding you can do with your comic book, pros and cons, and they show you what kind of binding is better for what what you want and what you want to see in your comic book collection that's bound. So this is Valiant's Chaos Effect. Valiant Chaos Effect on the side. Chaos Effect, Valiant Comics. In this, I've got a lot of signatures and artwork inside of the. Got some Sean Chen action going on here with Rai, Bob Hall, Jim Calafiore, Bernard Chang. There's a little head sketch of Mr. Mirage and Bob Layton. But it's just they're bound, and it's just you got the covers, the interiors, and then jackets. Some of these are also signed. Some of these books are signed individually as well. From that, now these are that was from that individual I told you about that I no longer go to. This is the Houchin. I think I'm saying Houchin, HOUCHIN.com, and they have a section there just for comic books, and they really know what they're doing. This is Starman, my first volume. I'm going to get the whole run, like I said, completed. I've got them sectioned off. They recommend no more than 25 issues of a regular size comic book. I've got 0 to 19. Because I didn't want to make it that thick. But you can see how the binding, it lays flat. You can see in the gutter, it's not taken away from the artwork. Everything is laid out nice and flat. And that's, excuse me, they call that a certain type of binding. I can't remember what it's called. But they'll show this to you, just like I'm showing it to you now. They'll show you that in the description of Starman with the cover. Everything's bound. Just 0 to 19 is bound. Tony Harris, and I got 90 back in '94. I had Tony Harris sign the first 3 issues. But yeah, this, and you can get anything you want on the spine. I try to keep everything the same, where there's no different, they're not different when they're sitting on the shelf. That's my first volume of Starman. It's issues 0 to 19. Like I said, they don't recommend any more than 25 issues. So I've got all my comic books set in bags. Like, next issue will be, it was 0 to 19. There's going to be 20 to 40, or 41 is the next batch. So I have them all in a bag, and that's how I send it in with the order form. When you print out the order form, PDF form, off of the off their website, and they'll tell you how. And you can write on there exactly what you want on the front of the book, if you want any type. And they'll do logos. You got to pay initially. If they don't have the stamp, you might have to pay for the DC logo or the Marvel logo, or whatever. But they'll actually heat stamp it on the volumes as well. The options you can get from binding your comic books is incredible. Some people ask, why do you bind your books? Again, I don't plan to sell anything other than recent books or books for the last 20 years that I no longer want in the collection that I've read, enjoyed, and I just don't want them in the collection anymore. And these books are going to stay with me, and I know I'm not going to sell them. And it saves room in the collection. It's awesome on the shelf. Be able to pull off, I feel like reading Sandman Mystery Theater, pull it off the shelf, and read Sandman Mystery Theater. This is just a way to keep your collection, another way of keeping your collection. I asked, why do people encapsulate their books and never break them out to read them? I mean, this I can read, and the price, guys, on this Sandman Mystery Theater, if I remember, the prices probably went up. This has been about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. It was like $25 to get this bound. Up to I think 2 inches of books is $25, and with the stamping and everything like that, it's like $20-something. And the stamping I got, it's a little bit extra, but it's not much. It's negligible on the total price of the binding. Again, this is Sandman Mystery Theater. Matt Wagner, Cool Wesley Dodds, To Steve, Sweet Dreams, or what does it say, Pleasant Dreams? Yeah, Pleasant Dreams. Matt Wagner. And got Matt Wagner and Guy Davis signed the first issue, and I think the second issue too. No, I just haven't signed just the first issue. I'd love to get Guy Davis. He no longer does comic work, from my understanding. He does things for movies, which he's got such a great imagination. I love Guy Davis's work. First, it's kind of off-putting when you first see it, but what he draws, it fits the narrative, it fits the book, and it's incredible stuff. I love Guy Davis's work. It's so detailed. Good example of Guy Davis's work. Just great stuff. Got Wes behind the wheel. Just, he knew how to draw New York in the 30s. And each storyline was really good. Well, it's not really about Sandman, it's about the binding. So again, Wagner, Siegel, Davis, DC Comics. I did 1 to 20 and annual 1, which what I got bound in this volume. The last one I'm going to show is the Complete Black Hawk when they redid him in the 80s by Mark Evanier and Dan Spiegel. Unfortunately, Dan Spiegel passed away before I could get him to sign this or to do anything. But Evanier did a little Hawka, Mark Evanier in this. But again, it's just awesome. Here's the ribbon, the marker ribbon I was telling you about, the marker pages. But it's just phenomenal presentation of having something in the bound book, and it's really cool. You can get it signed by an artist and stuff, and it just looks nice. You open it up and it's signed, and you're the only one that has the copy of this. It's just neat. Here's an awesome Howard Chaykin of our boy in the cockpit. There's our man there. Of try to make this ribbon flat. Of having this complete volume and have it at your fingertips. Again, that's why you get them bound. That's why I get them bound. It's not that far off the realm of comic book presentation or preservation. Roy Thomas has all his Golden Age books bound. I mean, Golden Age books bound. John Byrne, I know, has his X-Men run and Spider-Man run, to include 1 and other issues bound up to have them all in one volume. Will I go as far as that on my beloved Iron Man to bind? I don't think I will. There's as far as that I'll go. I like having the individual issues on certain books like that. It sounds like you're kind of hypocrite, but Sandman Mystery Theater ended. And you get the nice set of Sandman Mystery Theater. Starman ended. Nice set of Starman. And just be able to pull them off the shelf without having, like right here is probably, if I had these bagged and boarded, a quarter of a long box, you know, at least. Or a short box, or whatever you want to say. So it saves space. And again, it's only like $25-30 to get a comic book bound, which is pretty reasonable, I think. But that's some of my bound books. Graphic Man wanted to see some of them. I've got the complete Atari Force. Garcia Lopez drew a character in that for me. Did both of the X-Men The Hidden Years, signed by Tom Palmer. I got those in 2 volumes because I wanted to make sure they were nice. I didn't want to pack the book too much. Anyway, those are the bound volumes. I hope someone takes advantage of it and just checks it out and see what they think. Again, they don't have to be expensive books, but a series you may like. Um, I know I like to get Secret Origins. I like to get those bound up, which would be really cool to have. Again, I have the books I want to get sent to get bound set aside. But the next thing, the next expense I want to do is get my Moon Knight commission matted and framed. That's a couple $100 right there. So, you know, do I get a books bound or I get something matte framed and matted? And I haven't had anything new on the wall in a while, so I do want to get that taken care of. I was going through some stuff, and oh wow, I can't remember his name. Hold on one second. I'd be remiss if I didn't excuse me one second, I'm sorry. He talked about some fanzines, and I was going through some stuff, and I found a favorite fanzine of mine that I haven't seen in a long time. 4-color commentary. That's who it is. If you haven't subscribed to 4-color commentary, do that immediately. He's another guy that's pretty knowledgeable about comics and enjoys talking about comic books. He pulled out some pretty rare old fanzines, to include CPL, which is my all-time favorite, other than Charlton Bullseye, of a fanzine. But he pulls out a couple of issues, talks about them, and I found this. It's Nimbus. Sam De La Rosa did this back in the 70s, I think, but it came in an envelope. He signed it and drew a little Spider-Man on it for me. But this is the envelope that it came in. I think it's Nimbus number 3. This is the envelope that it came in. And think about fan an ad for Dragon Flame and Other Bedtime Nightmares by Don McGregor for Fictioneer Books. Which is kind of cool. I wonder if it ever came out. I'm wondering if anyone knows out there. Please let me know. Let's go over this again one more time. Clementine just walked in. Does anyone know, was this actually published? I know certain things in fanzines, there's ads for them, but sometimes they see the light of day, and other times that they didn't. But that came with it. And this is a Nimbus number 3. With an awesome Pat Boyette war cover from September of 1977. And some early Mike Zeck. And since I collect this fanzine so much, I love fanzines. And I like to get artists. What is it, girl? What is it? Aww. I like to get artists to sign the fanzines and that I meet, and this is some of the early stuff, and I think it's kind of cool to have it, have a sign. But I had this signed by Mike Zeck. This is chock full of stuff, and this is awesome. Leoloa Elric. What is it, Clementine? Awesome Elric drawing, if I can get it in there. And just got some spot illustrations by certain artists that are running out, like Arvell Jones. Also, little Nick Fury spot illustration at the bottom. some Jerry Ordway, Kerry Gamble, Nick Fury, some Jerry Ordway, some random soldiers. Oh no, that's Han Commandos. That's Gabe with his trumpet, and what's his name with the hat put backwards. Craig Russell and Duffy Voland. Duffy Voland did a lot of stuff for fanzines, and he did stuff for Charlton, I do believe. It's a pretty nice illustration there. Mike Vosberg with Starfire, which was a great comic book series. Roto Orloff was talking about Starfire. We're talking about that series, how good it was. Walter Simonson, Howard the Duck. Was Gene Colan. This is Clementine. Article by Howard the Duck. Great Gene Colan artwork. This is pretty cool of all the Kung Fu characters. Look, some Don Newton action here. Klaus Janson. Frank McLaughlin. Okay, this is Nimbus number 3. And like, I forgot the channel. I'm going to put a link, but I'm going to remember what it was. I can't remember. Anyway, he pointed out that either you can find them very, very cheap because no one knows what they got, or they're very expensive, and that's what some of the fanzines are. This is from old stock, I believe, from Sam De La Rosa, that I was able to get. This from him. I didn't pay that much money for it. If I remember. There's some War and the Anti-War. That is a question by Paul Kupperberg. Tony Isabella. Talking about some war. Interview about War is Hell. War is Hell series that he was doing. Illustration of the interview and interviewee. And a nice Mike Grell, Dead Man. Fanzine's pretty cool. I just love this. It's a snapshot of fandom back in the day, before there was the internet, before, you know, we had the internet. We had this. This was the this was our information. And here's the awesome John Romita of Bloodstone. One of my favorite characters, even though no one cares about him. I love that character. He appeared in the back of Rampaging Hulk, and he did Marvel Presents 1 and 2 with him in it. Oh, we got some No Man action here by Jerry Ordway. Okay, this is Nimbus. Mike Grell did a letter in there in this. But again, this was kind of like piggyback on so graphic literature. I'll put the link in the video, but you should be subscribed to him. And I'm sorry, I don't remember. I just said it, and I don't know why I'm having a problem with remembering things right now. I was going through some stuff as well, and I found my this is my childhood copy that I bought off the stands, that I still have it. This one made me a JSA fan before I realized that these were indeed reprints. not understanding why they would reprint a book, or why the art did not look modern to me. I realized that, but I didn't realize these were actually reprints over these in these pages. But I love this comic. I just phenomenal. It's just Solomon Grundy, and that is a killer splash page. I mean, look at that. The JSA. What do you want? You want to come up here? You want to come up here? I'll feed you lunch in a second, okay? It's just great stuff. The JSA. The only thing missing, I mean, though I didn't realize it at the time, that my favorite member, didn't see that much of him until I got much older, was Mr. Terrific. I love to see him in this now. When I reread this, I mean, look at that Joe Kubert. Goodness, right there. Phenomenal. So good. But yeah, I recommend this comic book. It reprints All-Star Comics 33 from 1947. I looked up that book recently, and I'm not spending $4,000 on a fine copy when I could have the reprint and enjoy it just the same. It'd be great to have the original copy, really, to have something from 1947 with the JSA in it. That'd be pretty darn cool. Was catching up on my reading, like I said I've been doing. Smelling the roses, and sometimes it smells like comic book paper, and other times it smells like ink out of new books, which I'm reading now, which is so good. The Art of Ramona Fradon. This is, I mean, she's such a talent and a treasure, and I had her sign it at the top. It's just, I don't know, there's just something about her style that they mentioned in the article in here, that it's eccentric, idiosyncratic. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's eccentric, but she definitely has a style that's very endearing. And anyone who's grew up reading comic books, who's grown up doing anything with the medium, has run across her work at some point. And she's just a remarkable individual, coming up drawing comic books in the, of course, in a male-dominated industry. We've heard that before, and she's just done so well with her characters. And Metamorpho is such an awesome character. That, I got his first appearance, and I got the whole run of books, and I just love that character. He's fun. Plastic Man, if you're ever down in the dumps and you're reading your funny books and crack open a Metamorpho or crack open a Plastic Man, you'll feel better. Trust me. Particularly if it's drawn by Ramona. Here's an awesome front piece with a very much flavorful Ramona Fradon feel by Walter Simonson of Aquaman, which is very cool. Aquaman, one of my favorite characters. He doesn't get the props he should get, but it goes, typical, when you start out, and she did Brenda Starr after Messick. What's her name? Dale Messick. After she left, Ramona Fradon took over Brenda Starr. Did it for like 15, 20 years. And her dad designed the Lord and Taylor and what else was it? Lord and Taylor and Elizabeth Arden logo. He invented that. Her dad invented that. So if you see Lord and Taylor and Elizabeth Arden, the logo, that's her dad's work, was that. But look at that Superman. I mean, that is just classic. No pretense. It is what it is, and it's just what Superman really should look like. I mean, everyone loves her Kurt Swan and everybody else, but I think Ramona really nails it. Got Captain Marvel going on there, the real Captain Marvel, and the details she puts in the work. She did war stories. I didn't know about that, but the book is just chock full of interviews, her art. I have an Aquaman drawing by her. The classic Doom Patrol. Just a great book, and I recommend it to anyone who's in a comic book history. Look at this great Aquaman. Come on. You can't beat that. It's phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Who's in a comic book history, comic book art, the history of their favorite comic books, because everyone likes Super Friends. I don't care who you were, you read comic books or you didn't read comic books. At some point, you saw the Super Friends. There was a comic book, you either perused it or did something with it, or your relatives had, someone had a Super Friends comic book and they loved the Super Friends. Aquaman was her thing, and look at this awesome family portrait of the Metamorpho crew. Look at that. That's so good. That's so good. But the book's really phenomenal. I'm about halfway through it. It's just, of course she did the Freedom Fighters. I forgot about that. Spot illustrations in this are just so good. Look at the awesome picture of the Metal Men. I love the Metal Men. My favorite DC Silver Age team. Awesome. Look at Aquaman. So, it's called The Art of Ramona Fradon. It's really good. Highly recommend that book. So I've been reading that. Let's see. Next on my list, I've still on my pulp. Again, it's not a real pulp. It's from Adventure House. This is from, I don't know, this is from 2006. But the actual, this is from June of 35. Number 1, Volume 6, The Sword Stoffel, or Stoffel. Probably Sword Stoffel. As told by G8, Robert Hogan, who wrote the stories, and that was who wrote the stories. It wasn't a pen name, from my understanding. Gripping short sky stories, and this is a number called the Vulture Patrol. It's on page 94. So you got 90 pages of G8 and his battle aces. So this is my next read. Just these pulp reprints are worth finding. They're still producing them. They're like $24.95 for the Shadow and Doc Savage. I think you get 2 adventures per book, but at certain comic book conventions you can find them for half off or like $5. So if you're at a comic book show, you see some pulp reprints, pick them up. It's fun, and you enjoy the story. And what's neat about these, at the end, there's a portrait gallery. I don't think Doc Savage did. There was spot illustrations of Doc and his men, or the Avenger and his men, and other pulp characters, but I've never seen an actual portrait as lifelike as that. And that's Nippy Weston, World War II. Well, World War I ace of G8, one of G8's men, and this is G8 on the back. This takes place in World War I. And it's just great reading. I've read the paperback books. that came out with the awesome Steranko covers. I put on Instagram those books that have the Steranko covers that they reprinted the G8 stories in them, which is really good stuff. Almost like an event, almost like the Avenger, but a World War I flying ace. So if you like Enemy Ace, you'll like G8. I obviously G8 is an American, not a German pilot, but it's during that time frame and same type of adventures, but they're more mystical at the beginning than they turn out to be. But that's just the way the pulps were. So that's what's been going on. Been watching a lot of Grotu Orloff. His channel's phenomenal. Graphic Man. And I want to get that guy. Can't believe I forgot his name. Come on. 4-color commentary. There we go. I'm not going to forget it now. 4-color commentary. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to Graphic Man. Subscribe to Grotu Orloff. Grotu Orloff is a channel he likes to talk about the past, and it's great. And it's 1.5 to 2 hours of him going through comics, going through old records, going through old movie posters, old movie things, old horror stuff, anything that is from the 50s and 60s. Grotu Orloff is going to tell you about it, and it's a phenomenal channel. Check it out. All right. Again, I got a comic book show hopefully tomorrow. We'll see how that plays out, and I'll do a video with that. Coming back from that, I'll probably shoot another quick video. So again, thank you guys for coming by. It's been only 37 minutes. And if you see some pulps, the reprints, or check out things online, you probably find them cheap too. Get them, because you'll have a good time reading them. Alright guys, you take care. Enjoy the weekend. Happy Memorial Day. Remember what it's about. I know we want to have a good time, but think what it's really about in the end. Alright guys, take care, and I'll talk to you later.